We've partnered with the Mad Queen Show and Upper Echelon Gamers to bring you extensive E3 coverage. Sub to both of their channels for unique E3 content. Links in the description.
We were lucky enough to get a good deal of hands-on time with the Division. These guys right here, Goat's in the back, cameraman right now. This is Eker, one of the core team members of Upper Echelon. This guy and Goat played multiple times. I myself played once. We played the same mission that you guys saw in the reveal, and it's an experience. There is a lot that's different. What's the biggest thing that strikes you right off the bat as being different? Like the number one thing that you would try and tell people that played 2,000 hours of Division 1?
Yeah, so the game immediately tries to retake the original narrative. So the original game was supposed to be this cover-based shooter where things were a little slower, but of course the players turned it into kind of a chicken dance, fast, med kits popping every few seconds, that kind of game where the speed just really took control. I think that they're really trying to rein that back in and introduce a more tactical element.
Yeah.
One example is like the med kits. I think the only time I died in the demo was having to do with med kits, so I'm running out there, just running and gunning, taking everybody out. My health's dropping a little bit. Like, I don't care because I got a med kit. You hit the D-pad and that med kit doesn't pop. You have to hold down the med kit button for like a good 2 seconds.
There's an animation.
There's an animation, like he's getting ready, like I gotta get this needle.
And it's, who can run down while gunning someone down and sprinting, and then also inject a needle and do that, like, come on, realism out the door. Mine's pretty much the same, just in a little bit of a different way. It felt like everything was geared towards slowing down the pacing. Now, if you're an old school PvPer and you are just standing at West 42nd, running around in circles saying 1v1 me, bro, you're probably not gonna like this game. I'm just gonna be straight with you guys right now. Hype for impressions. You are going to hate Division 2 if that's your cup of tea. You want to throw the grenade and then you guys just go in circles around each other. Yeah. You're just not gonna like it. It's not gonna be your cup of tea.
Well, I think the future of PvP in the Division isn't that anymore. It's gonna be more like team-based, so it's gonna be like you're out there and you're like, dude, my armor bar is gone, my health is low, cover me, Eeks. And then I'm gonna get down there, I'm gonna start laying cover fire, and you're gonna go out and heal.
Yep.
I think that's really the kind of coordinated play you're gonna have to have.
Tactical. Yeah. That's something that a lot of players are chasing, so it will be a positive for some, it will be a negative for others. And you mentioned an armor bar. That's big. So armor is now...
Spoiler.
Yeah, it takes the form of a segmented chunk of bars above your health bar, and that will only regenerate when either A, you pop a med kit, or B, you are out of combat, which means that the bulk of your health, the bulk of your survivability comes from something that is not regenerating on a one button click basis, and is also not passively regenerating if you are in combat. So I'm extrapolating some things here because I'm all about PvP, and they really didn't give us that much information on PvP at all. It's up to us to extrapolate that. But I am extrapolating that, again, this is going to force players to use cover in PvP. It's also going to give you an indicator if you're looking at an enemy squad and you see one person with tons of armor bars, right? It's like League of Legends, really. If you have a squishy carry, you can identify them. A tank, you can identify them. That's necessary, and the tools are there now in Division 2, which leads me to believe that, again, it's going to shift towards tactical squad gameplay, cover-to-cover based gunplay. And far less of what we've turned it into. We were not given a lot of information about PvP. They specifically said that they are not ready at this point to announce what they have planned in detail for PvP. We know that there will be. We know that the Dark Zone is a thing in the Division 2, but we don't know exactly how it's going to function, and there's clearly some things that they are holding in reserve because they are either A, excited about that, or B, indecisive at this point. We don't really know, but there's a reason for it. There will be far more cosmetics now than there ever previously have been. When you have a structure of a winter environment, that means coats, beanies, hats, warm clothing. That's not what this is. This is set in an environment where you can have skin showing, tattoos are gonna be used, different types of clothing, and it really becomes more of an aesthetic choice as opposed to a practicality based system where it's like, oh, you have to be warm because it's Sub-Zero out. The skills that we got to experience were limited. When we were playing, you only had one. You did not have two skills at the time. You didn't have a signature skill or anything like that. We played the progression from 29 to 30, which means we didn't see endgame. We didn't see, decked out super, top tier player power, but we did get some idea of the ending types of situations. And anyways, there was a fair bit of unique skills. There was the Hive, which was this kind of ball thing that you would throw, it would land, and then it would disperse and seek out weak points on enemies, and then detonate them. And there are a lot more weak points now than there ever previously was, and the Hive will seek out those weak points, and there's some pretty creative ones, so that's kind of cool. I had a drone, which was just a little drone that followed me and shot things, and that I can confirm that's in the game. I was really skeptical of that when I first saw it in the trailer.
The most interesting part to me was the ultimate weapons. They really replaced the signature skills. At the Q&A, they pretty much said that the weapons and stuff like that,
that's your signature, yeah.
That's your signature skill. Yeah. And it makes sense, Tom Clancy's always been about embracing realism. And the idea that I can pop a blue in real life and make my
don't exist.
Like, oh, I just popped a blue and now we can tank everything. It's much more realistic to make your signature, your ultimate ability, some really powerful weapon that has limited ammo.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the route that Destiny has too. Right?
Yeah, it is.
The heavy weapons are, limited ammo, but they're very powerful when you do have them. And I think that's the route that they're going with that.
You get up to 6 rounds, I believe it is, for the grenade launcher or the sniper, and they are extremely powerful. The two heavy guys, the big, aggressive, armor-plated enemies, I took them down with 3 shots, basically. If you pop their weak point, which one of their weak points, they're very open to showing you. They'll turn a little bit, and you can tag it with the 50 caliber sniper, and then they immediately lose their armor, and then you can shoot them and take them down.
Well, another cool thing about the 50 cal, it goes through their armor, so it'll damage them. Whereas if I have an M4 and I'm shooting his weak point, it won't do any damage to him, but it'll get rid of the weak point, right? It'll get rid of the armor. But if I got my 50 cal out and I'm shooting that weak point, it's going to eat through his health at the same time while it's destroying his armor.
Yeah, it can shoot right through.
So it shoots right through it.
But you only have the 6 bullets, and it is infrequent to drop. So it's a really cool mechanic, and it's based on your specialization. And of specializations, we saw 3. I'm not sure if there's going to be more in the full release. There was the Demolitionist, the Survivor, and the Marksman. If it's not Survivor, it's something along those lines. It seemed like a jack of all trades, middle of the road type character. Then there was the Marksman, light, ranged, high, heavy damage. And then there was the Demolitionist, which is kind of not necessarily up close, but a lot of damage, very immobile. And this is something interesting that Castro was just talking about. He's not in frame right now, but he was talking about relative weights of characters. Now, we can't say specifically if there's a numerical difference between the running speed of one character to another. I didn't see that reflected anywhere in the game's stats. However, characters felt extremely different to play. So you would have the Demolitionist, which, we're going to assume, would have much heavier equipment, a larger backpack, a lot more ammunition that they have to carry. It's larger ammunition, they have a grenade launcher, all this stuff. The way their character moved, the agility level of that character seemed to be very, very, very low. Whereas the Sniper, which is what I played personally, felt plenty mobile. I was climbing up things and running around, and I didn't feel restricted by that. So if there is different levels to how agile characters are. This is something that I was kind of sad about. You would open up the map and the game would crash completely, like hard crash. So that's sad. Iker was saying something about how maybe that was intentional. They don't really want us extrapolating as much as we could if we were given all the facilities of the game. Yeah. But seeing that crash, again, hype-free impressions. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, it's so amazing. I was like, I don't know, why is the game crashing when I hit the map button? It looked beautiful though.
It looked beautiful, but to that point, they were trying to keep us out of the dark zone essentially. They didn't want us to know what that was. So my thought was if a dude can pull up the map in the demo, he could potentially just go let's scroll on over to the dark zone and see what the map looks like.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's the case. Nobody said that. This is just my gut instinct, but I'm pretty sure those talented developers know how to make a map work, and so I think it was intentional that it didn't.
Yeah, it was interesting. It did look beautiful. It would pop up for a couple seconds before it crashed your game.
Yeah.
It actually looked pretty much, kind of a different aesthetic, like a artistic version of the original map that we saw in the original reveal trailer. One final little tidbit that we did learn is that skills will be open to all players. You'll pick your specialization and you will get special customization options somewhat from that, but skills are not going to be locked down to specific trees, it doesn't feel like. And there was a couple passing conversations I had.
You could switch your trees too, right?
I'm not sure about switching trees or the facilities to do that, or perhaps you can. Maybe it can be on the fly. I'm not sure if the loadout system is going to make a resurgence. I didn't inquire about that. I probably should have, now that I think back. But yeah, there will be a lot of customization options open, and I think that's all we really have for skills, weapons, talents, specializations, etc. Thank you very much for watching. There's links down below, and we'll wrap it up there.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and sub. Write your most profound thoughts in the comments down below, and then check out some of these other videos.
What did it rain?
Find the link to our Discord server and other important stuff in the description below.